and we welcome you to the microphone.
Andy, it's great to be here. You know, I was saying a few minutes ago, I like to kind of stay behind the scenes, but we get out there and we talk to our listeners and we kind of find out what they like or maybe dislike about 630 WMAL. And I thought, what a great opportunity with Sam being out today to open up the phone lines and talk to people a little bit about the radio station and some of the things, and maybe get some ideas on how we can improve it.
Okay. 202-432-WMAL is the number. It's toll-free if you're outside the area at 888-630-WMAL. And pound 630, that's a free call on Singular Wireless. And you ready to dive right in, or do you want to...
Absolutely. You know, I just wanted to say, and you know this, Andy, because, we get together and talk about it every day, actually. You're right. I've been here for about a year now, and we have had some changes, some programming changes over the past year or so. And... my background is in programming. A lot of times general managers of radio and television stations come out of the advertising and sales side. I came here to WMAL because it does have such a strong foundation, such a tremendous legacy here in the Washington broadcast community. And one of the things that I wanted to be working on here was to work on the programming and to try to provide the listeners to 630 WMAL the very best radio that they can possibly get.
All right. Let's go to the phones. Marianne is first. Good morning. You're on 630 WMAL.
Good morning. First, I want to tell Chris that I really appreciate how promptly he answers his emails and what good explanations he gives about the decisions that he's making. I've been a listener for over 40 years, since I was a very young child.
I was going to say, Marianne, you sound so young.
And I think the thing that has always kept me being a listener of WMAL has been that it's been my hometown radio station. And so, the live programming and the local programming is really important to me. And I think that the tenor has always been, even if there's disagreement, it's polite and cordial disagreement. And I think that atmosphere is also really important to maintain as you make what I'm sure are necessary program changes in the future.
Well, Marianne, I appreciate the call, and I guess you have sent me emails in the past. I think that when you take a look at WMAL, and you've been listening 40 years, that's a long time. You've seen the station evolve over the years, as you've seen the media diet for the public really evolve over the years. I mean, 40 years ago, in the early 1960s, you certainly didn't have all-news cable channels that were out there,
No.
the CNNs, the Fox Newses. You certainly didn't have the Internet and things like that were out there. And radio was a very important part, and there were only probably a handful of radio stations in Washington at that time. So a station like WMAL could be all things to all people. Hardin and Weaver in the morning, playing music till dawn, and things of that nature. But things do evolve, and there are more radio stations and more media choices. But I still think that radio is it's probably the most intimate medium. I mean, Andy, how many times have you been like in line at a supermarket and somebody hears your voice and they're like, that's Andy Parks. I mean, that's one of the great things about radio is the fact that it does connect directly between the listener and the person who's in the studio. Here at WMAL, you're right. I think that you have to have a little bit of fun with it. And I think that the introduction of Fred Grandy here on the morning news back in the summer was he. I don't know what you were giving him this morning.
No.
He's out of control.
I have got to control his coffee intake.
but hopefully we can provide you with a good mixture of what's happening in the world, along with some of those things like traffic and weather that you kind of need to get going with your day, and do it in a fun way too. Kind of in the tradition of Hardin and Weaver and some of the other shows that have been on WMAL over the years.
Sure. WMAL news time is 9:10. Let's go to Barbara. Morning, Barbara.
Good morning. Thanks for the opportunity. I've wanted to say this for 16 years. I just wanted you to know, whoever has been at the helm, that the quality of the local programming, now Fred and Andy and Chris and David and Charlie, is far superior to any of the national programs that I know you must air, but I only listen to the local people because they're the best. I just wanted you to know that.
All right, Barbara.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Barbara. Yeah, as I said earlier, when I came to WMAL, I mean, it was really an obvious choice for me to come to have the opportunity to work with people like Chris Core and Fred Grandy and David Burr. Oh, and you too, Andy Parks.
Yeah, thank you.
But you cannot.
I made the list.
you can't discount some of those other programs that are on there. Rush Limbaugh, obviously controversial recently in the news recently. Rush Limbaugh has a tremendous following, not only here in Washington but around the country, and the things that he has to say. There are a lot of people out there who tune in every day to hear him. The same with Sean Hannity. His line is 3 hours a day. That's all I ask. Sean Hannity is the fastest growing talk show in radio history, and of course he has a television program on the Fox News channel in the evening, which probably helps a little bit too. Sure. But Sean does a great job. Now those are very issue-oriented programs, and to kind of go back to Marianne's comments earlier too, one of the comments that I get is sometimes they're a little bit too abrasive. This isn't the WMAL that I grew up with, and I certainly understand that, but I also think that Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity and some of the other programs that are on there, they definitely serve a purpose, and they do have a very loyal audience too, and a large audience at that.
WMAL News Time 9:12. In studio this morning, the President and General Manager of WMAL, Chris Berry. Andy Parks here. We'll be along with you until about 10 o'clock this morning, and we'll take more of your calls at 202-432-WMAL right after these messages.
If you've got a clogged up nose, Simply Stuffy. If you've got a snuffly nose, Simply Stuffy. If the rest of you feels fine, but your nose is out of line, give your schnozzle what it needs, Simply Stuffy.
Simply Stuffy, from the makers of children's Tylenol. It has only the medicine your child needs to make a stuffy nose simply disappear.
If you want to smell a rose, get the stuff out of your nose. If you're sick of feeling snotty, Simply Stuffy.
Simply Stuffy. Use as directed.
When you purchase a new home or refinance your mortgage, you're presented with a list of lender closing costs that may add up to thousands of dollars. Well, at Ditech.com, we've cut our closing costs down to just $395. That's right. Get a new first mortgage from Ditech.com, and our closing costs are just $395. We call it the Ditech One Fee because one low fee is all there is. No points and no broker fee. The $395 Ditech One Fee. Why pay more? For more details, log on to Ditech.com or call 1-800-DITECH-1 right now. That's 1-800-DITECH-1. The $395 Ditech One Fee from Ditech.com. Call 1-800-DITECH-1.
In Washington, D.C., business is conducted under the name GMAC Mortgage Corporation, DBA Ditech.com. Terms and conditions apply, subject to underwriting approval, equal housing opportunity.
Hi, I'm Ronnie Mervis. At Mervis Diamond Importers, we have a very simple approach. We treat every client as if we have only one. We go the extra mile to provide impeccable service. Mervis Diamond Importers shows an amazing selection of top quality diamonds. The incredibly low prices speak for themselves. Our prices are made possible because Mervis Diamond imports direct from the mines in South Africa. From factory to finger, our world-famous diamonds are in our care, and we do care. The Mervis reputation is your guarantee of quality, and since most of the Mervis diamonds are certified by the Gem Institute of America, your confidence is assured. By the way, leave your checkbook at home. You are our friend when we show you our diamonds. There is no obligation. When you are ready to decide, you will know where to find us and what to do with the money you save. Mervis Diamond Importers. Nobody pays retail anymore. Why should you?
Mervis Diamond Importers. Don't just fall in love with a Mervis Diamond. Nobody has more. Find the closest location and see the world's best diamonds online at MervisDiamond.com. By appointment only, call Mervis, the first name in diamonds, at 1-800-HER-LOVE. That's 1-800-HERLOVE.
Hurry to CompUSA this week and get $100 off the HP M380N Media Center desktop PC featuring the Intel Pentium 4 processor with HT technology.
So I went to CompUSA and they told me they had free training and installation when you buy anything digital. I said, free training? They said, yeah. I said, free installation again? They said, yeah. And I said, so if I buy this wireless network for my PC, someone from CompUSA will come to my house and install it for no extra charge? They said, yeah. I said, if I buy this digital camera, you'll show me how to use all those features no one knows how to use? They said, yeah. So then I said, can I borrow $20? They said, no. Hey, I was on a roll. It was worth a shot. Free training, they'll beat any advertised price. CompUSA, unmatched.
Don't forget, save $100 off the HP M380N Media Center desktop PC featuring the Intel Pentium 4 processor with HT technology. Certain conditions apply. Quantities limited. See store for details.
You like that? Is that better music? King of Kings? Good morning. Welcome back. WMAL News Time 9:16. Andy Parks, and I'm joined in this hour by the President and General Manager of WMAL, Chris Berry. Chris has been around here for about a year, and he has made some positive changes, I think, to our radio station, and we'd like to hear from you with your comments this morning at 202-432-WMAL. If you're outside the area, it's a free call at 888-630-WMAL, and it's a free call on Singular Wireless at pound 630. Ready to go back to the phones, Chris?
Absolutely.
All right. Whoops, lost Ann. All right, let's go to Keith. Good morning, Keith. You're on WMAL.
Good morning. I had a little bit of criticism on your news reporting.
Okay.
I noticed those guys get a little frantic in broadcasting news that's not really urgent as they make it seem. The closest example, the latest example I would say, was when Muhammad's verdict came down, and Paul Harvey's in the middle of his last statement with, where he says, "For what it's worth."
Right.
And he's got 30 seconds left, and they break in with a Muhammad verdict. And 30 seconds after that, they give the news report, which gives the Muhammad verdict. And, you missed some of the best part of your programming when they do that.
All right, Keith.
And the most hysterical one was when you had the shooter outside the White House gate, and they cut off an hour of broadcasting, and the incident was over. But they were totally frantic, giving wrong...
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, Keith, but I can honestly say that in that case, they really didn't know what was going on yet. So, I mean, that's just the way that happens.
Yeah, Keith, I prior to coming here to be general manager of WMAL, I was vice president of radio for ABC News up in New York. So, my background really is in radio news gathering and things of that nature. And I have to agree with you. You know, one of the great things about radio in general is the immediacy of it. The fact that we can take you to wherever news is happening. The cellular phone has become like has the world's longest microphone cord. And if there's a weather problem that's happening somewhere or an event that's unfolding, we can bring it to you as it's happening. The danger there is that you're not able to put it into context. You're not really able to take a look at how it affects either the overall day's news in general or to provide the context. And actually, that's something that I think that we are doing a better job of having people here who can kind of, like Chris Gordon, covering the Muhammad and Malvo trials,
right.
Talking about exactly what happened. And so we're not just giving you the headlines necessarily. In the case of the interruptions, again, we don't have to, because of the immediacy of radio, we don't have to set up cameras and microwave links, and we don't have to run printing presses and things like that. We can bring you the news as it's happening, and sometimes you don't know what is going to happen. And I think that was probably one of the cases why they interrupted Paul Harvey, who, by the way, I'm a huge fan of, and I hate it when anytime that he's interrupted also.
WMAL News Time 9:19. Here's David. Morning, David. You're on 630 WMAL.
Good morning. I'm a long-time listener, 30 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been very disturbed by your tendency to go...
Ooh. I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, we're not even in delay. So I shouldn't say that.
I had nothing to do with that. I don't know what he was getting at, but
David, if you call us back,
call back. We'll make sure we'll get you on the air. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back to your calls at 202-432-WMAL. WMAL News Time 9:19.
How long has it been since you've been to the dentist? Are you putting off your dental work because of fear, a bad gag reflex? Or perhaps you just can't get numb. Or maybe you just don't have the time. Well, Sedation Dentistry allows us, in as little as one appointment, to take care of your dental needs while you are totally safe, absolutely comfortable, and wonderfully relaxed. And best of all, I do all this by giving you a pill. That's right, just a pill. Consider having your dental care you've been procrastinating completed while you snooze. Call me, Dr. Andrew Sklar, and you too can wake up with a beautiful smile.
Dr. Andrew Sklar is a proud member of the Dental Organization for Conscious Sedation. Call him today for a complimentary audio tape describing sedation dentistry at 703-931-3141. That's 703-931-3141. Or on the web, visit alexandriasedationdentist.com. And then you too can wake up to a new smile.
Sounds like someone just traded up to Nextel. Because now he can do more. With Nextel's National Instant Connect plan, he gets unlimited coast-to-coast walkie-talkie and unlimited nights and weekends, plus 500 anytime minutes and nationwide long distance included. All for just $49.99 a month. Join Nextel now and get $50 off the national promotional price of the new i730, our slimmest, most advanced phone ever. With color screen, built-in speakerphone, web access, and text messaging, it's the walkie-talkie phone that does it all, so you can get more done.
Dun 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 dun.
Trade up to Nextel. Bring your number with you. Call 800-NEXTEL-9, go to Nextel.com, or visit a store near you. Nextel. Done. Offer ends December 31st, 2003. 2-year agreement required. $200 early termination account. Setup fees, taxes, charges, and other restrictions apply. $50 off the national promotional price. Local number portability available in select areas. Phones by Motorola. Legal disclaimer done.
Come down from the roof, Mr. Anderson!
Mom, everybody's looking.
Terrence, get down from there. I'll take it back.
Now's a good time to make up, Mrs. Anderson.
I'm not making up. It's his new digital camera. He's going to throw it off the roof because he expected great pictures but isn't getting them. I'll just take it back.
Dad, everyone will see you in your robe.
Mr. Anderson, you can get a Canon PowerShot digital camera with the Digit chip, like the 3.2 megapixel Canon PowerShot A70. It has a 3x optical zoom lens, and Digit makes sure the colors are true and images tack sharp.
Will the colors be washed out?
No!
Will the pictures be fuzzy?
No!
Geronimo!
He's so dramatic.
Ma'am, there's digital, then there's Canon digital.
Oh, great. My dad's gonna make the nightly news.
Digital revolutionized photography. We revolutionized digital.
The Rush Limbaugh Show on 630 WMAL.
High-level Kerry staffers overheard plotting in Iowa hotel bar. The campaign advisor spoke frankly at the hotel's bar and their frustrations of living in the shadow of Howard Dean. The staff said that Kerry should and will use a motorcycle for campaigning more often. I wonder if he knows how to ride a motorcycle bicycle. It takes balance to do that. This guy tilts so far left, you wonder.
Rush is back. The Rush Limbaugh Show, noon till 3 on 630 WMAL.
WMAL News Time 9:23. Andy Parks here. Yeah, we're working a little overtime today, but the big boss is in the room. President and General Manager of WMAL, Chris Berry, in this hour, talking about our radio station and taking your calls at 202-432-WMAL. Outside the area, it's a toll-free call at 888-630-WMAL, and it's a free call on Singular Wireless at pound 630. I'm going to jump in and ask a question of you, if you don't mind.
That's okay, Andy.
Charlie Warren.
Yep.
Where? Why?
Good question. Charlie, if for those of you who don't know, Charlie Warren is a broadcaster. Been 17 years here at WMAL, long career, and had been on from 9 to midnight. And probably about a month or so ago, we made a programming change there. Obviously, anytime you take a program that has been on the air that long and has a loyal audience, it's not a decision that's made without a lot of consideration and talking to a lot of people. And although Charlie every night put together a terrific program, unfortunately the audience, while very loyal, was also very small. And so we made a programming move there. We have put on Bachelor and Alexander. If you haven't had a chance to listen to the show, and Andy, I know that you have to go to sleep pretty early.
I have listened, though.
Bachelor and Alexander, two guys, both ends of the political spectrum. You've got a Democrat and you've got a Republican, and they talk about the issues that are happening around the world, really, in a very dramatic fashion. It's unlike any other radio that I've really ever heard before. They talk to the biggest newsmakers. They talk to correspondents who are in some of the most remote places of the world, really, about the news events that are happening on there, and they do it in such a dramatic fashion that it kind of, in some respects, reminds me even of old-time radio programs from the 1940s and 30s.
I hope you'll catch the program if you haven't heard it yet. It airs every night here on 630 WMAL.
From 9 to midnight.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to Roger. Morning, Roger. You're on 630 WMAL.
Gentlemen, appreciate the taking of my call. Mm-hmm. I've never had the chance to speak to a manager of a radio station before, so I wanted to pose the question, and then maybe I'll hang up and listen. It's a multi-part. In your opinion, does media bias exist? My guess is that we probably all believe that it does at some level. But is that acceptable for that to be the case? And does the station manager have an impact on how and what news is reported in order to lend credence to his or her political perspective.
Okay, Roger. Thank
you. Well, those are probably some of the questions that we hear a lot about media bias. There have been a lot of books that have been out recently about either real or perceived media bias. It's something that Rush Limbaugh talks about on WMAL every day. I think having spent most of my career really in newsrooms around the country, in Los Angeles and Chicago, here in Washington, and in New York, I believe that there is probably not a media bias as such, because there are so many hands that go into making a decision to get something on the air. I think that, it's not like there's any one individual who can do that. I will say, however, having said that there are a lot of hands that go into this, I will say that many of the people in newsrooms that I've come across probably have a little bit more liberal tendencies. And when I say liberal, I mean it more like open-minded, in that they're willing to look at all sides of an issue. As a result, they may also have more of a liberal perspective on what's happening in the news. So, to answer your question, to kind of go to get back to it, is there a media bias? Does it exist? That was your question. I don't think that it exists in any kind of a codified form, but I think that there probably is a certain amount of liberal involvement in the choosing of the news. The second part of your question was, is it acceptable? Well, that's a good question. The other thing about, is there a bias and is it acceptable? There's so much going on in the world, and the people who are choosing the stories, whether they go on the 22 minutes of World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, or whether it goes on WMAL, there are so many stories that you have to boil it down to. You have to kind of find the stories that you think A, are the most important to people, and then B, are the most interesting to people, because somebody once said, what if you had a button that you could push and the person would be gone forever? Well, that's kind of the way it is in radio and television. You can push that button, the person is gone forever, so they have to provide the most compelling programming possible. And Andy Parks and Fred Grandy, I think you do it every morning.
WMAL News Time 9:28. We're going to take more of your calls here in just a few minutes on 630 WMAL. I can understand, though, how they can paint a picture very easily if you have someone on the air like Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity following Limbaugh. Then they may think that the entire radio station leans in one direction.
That's true, and in the case of both Sean and Rush, they clearly are not news people, although I think a lot of people get their news from Rush Limbaugh, but he's not a news person. He's a commentator.
Speaking of news, we're going to get to it in just 1 minute right here at 630 WMAL. WMAL News Time 9:29.
Happy holidays, everyone. It's Gary, and this year my shopping is so easy. I'm giving everyone AT&T Wireless Go Phone service, the best of wireless with no annual contract. Today's stop, my girlfriend Jenny.
Gary, what are you doing here?
I have your present. It's GoPhone. There's no annual contract, and you get lots of anytime minutes with no roaming or long-distance charges. So you could call me a lot. And there's unlimited nights and weekends on most plans. So you could call me a lot. All within the AT&T Wireless National Network. Plus, there's no credit checks, no activation fees, and it's easy to buy. You just grab it and go.
No commitment. What a thoughtful gift, Gary. I think I'll get one for Tom.
Good idea. Wait a minute. Who's Tom?
Now get up to a $50 mail-in rebate when you give the gift of GoPhone. Visit an AT&T Wireless store, call 1-866-REACH-OUT, or click attwireless.com. Reach out on the wireless service America trusts. AT&T Wireless.
Geographic limitations, device compatibility, and other charges, terms, and restrictions apply. Mail-in rebate offer expires 12/31/03.
9:30 on WMAL. I'm Michelle Bash. A member of the Iraqi Governing Council says he heard that a big fish has been killed or captured by U.S. forces. Another Iraqi leader says it could be one of Saddam's top deputies, a man suspected of leading the backlash against U.S. troops. But the U.S. military isn't confirming anything at this point. A convicted Minnesota sex offender is charged with kidnapping a college student, Drew Shadeen. But there's still no sign of her. Soon after the arrest, police went to the house of Drew's friend. What did she tell her?
Drew is still missing. They were still looking for her.
but they had arrested someone, so we looked at that in a positive way, that it's one step closer to finding Drew.
Shadeen disappeared after leaving work at a North Dakota mall. Employees are about to return to the former Brentwood Postal Center in the district. The center's been closed since the anthrax mail attacks more than 2 years ago.
We'll be opening Brentwood for administrative employees this week. We will be entering the facility later on in the month with our normal mail processing and distribution activities.
The last 9 years have been the busiest for hurricanes along the Atlantic coast than any 9-year stretch in history. The 2003 season brought 7 hurricanes, 3 of them major. The good news is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says it did the best job ever this year of predicting those storms. Finally, forget Victoria's Secret. The holiday catalog from Abercrombie & Fitch has some people's eyes as big as saucers. It's loaded with naked models.
This Christmas catalog encourages homosexuality, fornication, group sex with multiple sex partners. I mean, these things don't belong in a catalog that's trying to sell clothes to teens and preteens.
He's with the National Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families. The catalog has been removed from stores. WMAL News Time is 9:32. Checking traffic and weather together, here's Dan Alfer in the 630 WMAL Traffic Center.
The report brought to you by MSNBC's Hardball with Chris Matthews. 395 north, still slow after the Pentagon from a little before Boundary Channel Drive over the 14th Street Bridge, headed towards 3rd Street Tunnel. 295 is jammed solid from Bowling past Suitland Parkway, right on up over the bridge and past the 3rd Street Tunnel, most of the way towards Virginia. No accidents reported in the way, but very slow traffic rolling north on 295, trying to get across into Virginia to go south onto 395. Maryland Beltway, they've set up some road work. Interloop they will be doing after Connecticut in the right lane, and then Colesville to New Hampshire in the left lane. No road work scheduled for the outer loop through that stretch. Through Falls Church, picking up volume, slowing down now actually both ways on 66. Traffic very slow, but no accidents in the way. Tonight, Chris looks at why the economy and not Iraq could be the most pivotal issue in President Bush's re-election drive. Hardball with Chris Matthews every weeknight at 7 on MSNBC. Dan Alfer, 630 WMAL Traffic.
Washington's most accurate and dependable forecast from 630 WMAL. Partly sunny, windy, and cold today, a high 44. We are at 38 degrees now at Reagan National, up to 44 this afternoon. The 630 WMAL stock market open. The Dow is down 26 in early trading, the NASDAQ down 4. 630 WMAL. I'm Michelle Bash.
Are alcohol or drugs a problem in your life? Phoenix Method 1 Center for Addiction Control offers a rapid and effective way for you to get your health, life, and positive self-image back. There's no hospitalization, no time off from work, no group meetings, just one or a few private and confidential sessions of behavior modification through clinical hypnotherapy can help you be free of the dependency on alcohol and drugs and get you on the road to emotional, physical, and financial recovery. Phoenix Method 1 programs are individualized for each client, reasonably priced and confidential, and all Method 1 therapists are professionally certified and experienced. If you are ready to be free of the stress, depression, and other problems associated with alcohol or drug dependency, then call Phoenix Method 1 now at 1-877-METHOD-1. That's 1-877-METHOD-1. Programs are also available for compulsive eating and smoking cessation. 1-877-METHOD-1.
WMAL News Time, 9:34. Andy Parks with you, and no, you're not late for work or not early for work or whatever the case may be. I'll be here until 10 o'clock. Sam Donaldson is off today, a little under the weather. Chris Berry is here today. Chris is the president and general manager of WMAL, and he's just chomping at the bit. What would you like to say?
I just wanted to say, Andy, and I said this at the start of the hour, this is great to have the opportunity to get together and talk to people a little bit about the radio station and why we do some of the things we do and talk about some of the plans we have coming up. But not everybody may have the opportunity to call in and get on the air today. One of our callers a little bit earlier this morning, I think it was Marianne, had mentioned that she had sent emails in. I want to give you my email address over the phone
okay.
because I do like to hear from people, even if you can't get out there. So if you get a pencil and paper, I'll give it to you after this next call.
Okay. And you can get on the air with us at 202-432-WMAL, toll free 888-630-WMAL. It's a free call on Singular Wireless at pound 630. It is time for Ask the General Manager, and we go back to the phones. And Lenny is standing by. Thanks for holding on, Lenny. You're next on 630 WMAL.
Yeah, how you doing, Andy?
Fine, thank you.
Good. How are you, Chris? Good to talk to a manager for a change. Listen, I just very quick. I know you got people waiting here. I just wanted to know who and why somebody was responsible for taking off the old-time radio shows at 1 a.m. Sunday for that 12-step drug program. Who's listening to this?
Well, that's kind of a two-part question, actually. and just like Harry Truman, the buck stops in my office, so I'll take responsibility for all that. Old time radio is terrific. I am a big fan myself. I have a collection of.
I can tell you he does. I've seen him drag him through the halls out here.
Radios, yeah.
The radios, yeah.
Old time radio programs like Gunsmoke and Fibber McGee and stuff like that. And I think they're terrific. We made a decision that really that type of programming was no longer really keeping with the overall programming philosophy for WMAL, which is more of a news and information programming, and it really didn't fit into that category anymore. But I do have some news for you, Lenny, and I don't know if you already listened to this, but Ed Walker, who's been around Washington broadcast for a long time,
been here for a long time.
Willard Scott and Ed Walker used to be on the radio here in Washington. He does a show every Sunday night. I don't know if you've listened to it or not. It's on I think from 7 to 11 on WAMU. Now that's on the FM dial. It's 88.5.
What are you doing here? It's like Miracle from 34th Street when you're telling people to go to Gimbel's instead of Macy's.
Well, I got to tell you, that shows you how much of a fan I am of this type of programming. That we would like for you to listen to WMAL 24 hours a day. I realize that's not the way it is.
It doesn't happen.
But hopefully we're one of the buttons on your car radio. Hopefully you tune us in at night to Bachelor and Alexander, and you wake up to Fred and Andy in the morning. But on Sunday nights, if you have an interest in old-time radio, it does exist in the Washington area. It's a great show. Ed Walker does it. It's on from, as I say, from 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. on WAMU.
WMAL News Time 9:37. Let's take a call here from Kathy. Morning, Kathy. You're on 630 WMAL.
Hi.
Hi.
I'd like to hear more of Dr. Laura. I know her show is longer than what you guys air, and I'd like to hear more of her show.
Oh.
I hear a lot of political stuff, and I'd like to hear some more Dr. Laura.
Okay.
Dr. Laura is, does provide very interesting commentary on the radio and advice for people, and we're happy that she's a part of the program schedule here at WMAL. Probably will not be extending her hours at this point, though.
Okay. WMAL News Time 9:38. If you'd like to call in and talk with our president and general manager here at WMAL, Chris Berry, we have about 20 minutes left or so. 202-432-WMAL, toll-free 888-630-WMAL, pound 630 on Singular Wireless. One of the things I want to address is community involvement. The radio station throughout the years has done a lot for Children's Hospital, done a lot for the Leukemia Foundation, and done a lot just, period, getting involved with groups within the community and being a part of the community. Your plans there?
It's really a long part of the tradition and history of WMAL to be out there in the community. We're licensed by the federal government to serve the community, and that includes not only on the broadcast side, and my feeling is anyway that we should also be out there trying to help people by raising money for groups like you mentioned, Children's Hospital, which has been a long time charity for 630 WMAL and Leukemia Society. And this is something that I think is important for a lot of reasons. One, it obviously helps the people in the communities, but also it allows people like you, Andy Parks, to go out and talk to our listeners and meet our listeners and participate in some of these events. So, yes, you are going to be seeing us out there more.
All right. WMAL News Time 9:39. We'll get back to more of your calls in just a couple of minutes.
I think I like college better than school. My dad said you pay more money but go to less classes. I guess it's the money part that got my parents all worried. Then my teacher told me about the college savings plans of Maryland. Turns out it's easy to save. My parents thought it would be confusing, but I set them straight. They were really happy that, these are the only 529 plans that can reduce your taxable Maryland state income, or something like that. Actually, there's two plans. There's a prepaid college trust with a legislative guarantee. You pay money today, and it can help pay for college when you're ready. Cool. There's a whole other part, too. The college investment plan managed and distributed by T. Rowe Price. My parents did both, and they don't pay any loads or commissions, whatever those are. Best of all, I could go to college wherever I want and still use the money. Now my dad asks if I want to be an accountant. I say sure, if I could do it underwater, or in space, or someplace fun like that.
Call 1-888-4MD-GRAD or visit collegesavingsmd.org to learn more. College Savings Plans of Maryland. Welcome to Staples UPS Authorized Ship Center. Just this package, sir?
Yep. Hey, you know what's inside the box?
No.
Come on, it's a holiday gift. Guess.
Sir, here at Staples, we'll ship the package with UPS, but
Guess.
Sir,
Guess.
Is it a shoe, sir?
Come on, get out of here, shoe. Guess again.
Bees?
Bees? Who mails bees? Hey, this guy thinks I'm sending people bees.
Sir, honestly, I have no idea, but,
Okay, hint. It's a holiday gift not made out of wood. It's so easy now.
Stop into a Staples store and ship all of your holiday gifts from Staples UPS Authorized Ship Center at the same low rates as UPS. Drop your packages off as late as our stores stay open.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Is it a digital camera, the Canon PowerShot A80?
Ding, ding, winner!
I was gonna guess digital camera.
UPS and Staples. That was easy. This holiday season, look for Scotch brand packaging products for all of your shipping, moving, and storage needs.
WMAL News Time, 9:41. Andy Parks with you, and I present to you once again the President and General Manager of WMAL, Chris Berry. And folks, if you'd like to get on the line, to get on the air, 202-432-WMAL, a question about programming here at the radio station, or a comment, now's the time to do it. You can also call us toll-free at 888-630-WMAL. It's also a free call on Singular Wireless at pound 630. Weekend programming. Let's talk about that a little bit, because
do you want to work weekends now, Andy?
No, that's all right. No. Why did I open my mouth? Shows like The Car Show with Warren Brown. I love that show.
Yeah. Weekend, again, if you've been listening for the past half hour or so, I was talking a little bit about the intimacy of radio and the fact that it does become a part of people's lives. And this is something that really I love about what we do here. Weekends, what we've tried to do on the programming side is really kind of reflect people's lives on the weekends. They're different than they are during the week. I mean, the reality is that between 5 and 9 a.m., pretty much everybody does the same thing. They wake up, they take care of go to the shower, they get ready to go to work and get in the car, check the weather report and things like that. That's pretty much happens Monday through Friday. But Saturday and Sunday, people's lives are a little different. They do things around the house and things like that. We're very fortunate in that I convinced David Byrd to come on Sunday mornings now. So he's now...
Yeah, how'd you do that?
He is now part of the broadcast schedule on both Saturday and Sunday mornings. And it's interesting, those two shows, I think, are a little bit different to listen on Saturday and Sunday.
No, David, a little different?
From one day to the other, believe it or not. But what we have tried to do with the rest of the program schedule on the weekend is, again, kind of reflect people's lives. For example, we do the WMAL Garden Show, which is on Sundays at 10 o'clock. And this is really kind of a great opportunity for people to call in with their gardening questions and things like that. We know that that's a very important hobby for our listeners. Again, we know this from talking to people. But one of the shows that we came up with not too long ago is on Saturdays, and it's at noon. Warren Brown, who's the automotive editor for the Washington Post, and great personality. I mean, he's very effusive. We paired him up with a fellow named Bill O'Brien, who works here at the radio station. He's kind of a behind-the-scenes guy, but a great broadcaster and a great car enthusiast. Mm-hmm. We put the two of these guys on the air, and they talk about, this isn't a car repair show, but they talk about all kinds of things regarding cars. And, people are interested in buying new cars. They want to know what the value of their car is. They want to know what's coming up. And the response has been phenomenal.
Oh, very good. WMAL News Time, 9:44. Andy Parks with our President and General Manager of WMAL, Chris Berry. Again, we'll take your calls at 202-432-WMAL. We've hit just about every show here on the air, with the exception of Chris Core. Chris has been here a million years now. I think just about
27 years, I think. Yeah,
27 years.
27, 28 years.
And from time to time, I'll have people say, there's a big difference between the morning show and Chris's show in the afternoon. The biggest is that Chris can talk at length on a topic and really get the listeners involved, where in the morning we're kind of moving from one item to the next very quickly. We have lots of elements like traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the fives and other things. So it really presents a different opportunity for our listeners, doesn't it?
It does. And again, you go back to kind of what we were saying earlier about people's lifestyles. In the morning, you need to get the information in a quicker amount of time because you have things that you need to do. And as I said earlier, that period kind of between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m., pretty much everybody does the same thing.
Yeah.
When you listen in the afternoon, if you want to listen for news and information in the afternoon, your day is a little bit different. People are doing all kinds of things in the afternoon. I was listening to Chris last night in the 8 o'clock hour, 8 p.m., and he was taking lots and lots of phone calls on very important issues. He has great newsmakers on the air. They talk about things more in depth than maybe you might get otherwise. And I think that it's a tremendous resource. We were talking a little bit earlier with one of the callers about the importance of local programming and talking to local newsmakers, and I think Chris Core really is a terrific outlet for that, and will be for a long time to come.
All right, let's go back to the phone, shall we? Lou, good morning. You're on 630 WMAL.
Good morning, Andy.
Hey.
Been listening to you guys, WMAL, for a long time, Andy. I remember when you were up in the plane.
Yep, that's
and
been a lot of years
go back
ago.
further than that.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say that Sam Donaldson's show is very refreshing. It is wonderful. He makes it sound like he really enjoys it. And I wish there was a way you can extend his hours.
Okay. Thank you, Lou. Appreciate the call.
Yeah, actually, I appreciate the call also, Lou. I'm a big fan of the program myself. Sam Donaldson, somebody had talked earlier about bias in the media and things like that. A lot of times people who haven't given Sam a chance because they think he's the guy who was yelling questions at Ronald Reagan, when he was getting on the helicopter or whatever. And they think,
wait a minute, Mr. President.
What an obnoxious guy. What they don't realize about Sam is he was yelling those same questions at Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton.
Oh, yeah.
Also. And he's an equal opportunity shouter, if you will. But Sam is not seen as regularly as I would like to see him anyway on television anymore. And a couple of years ago, actually it was right after September the 11th, I had not come to WMAL. I was still at ABC News up in New York, working on the radio side. But I was talking to Sam, and to me, he seems like such a natural talk show host. He has tremendous background. He knows everybody in Washington. And after a little bit of arm twisting, he agreed to do this radio program. And you're right. He is on for an hour right now. I think we could probably use a little bit more of the program, and I'm a huge fan. And if you haven't given Sam a shot, and obviously we're on in his hour right now, so probably many of the people who are listening do listen to Sam. Please do, because I think that it's a very, very, as you said, Lou, a refreshing program.
WMAL News Time 9:48. Jeff is next. Morning, Jeff. You're on 630 WMAL.
Good morning. How you doing?
Fine, thanks.
Hi, I'm an avid listener, so I'm almost criticizing my favorite radio station, but you guys just seem to be extremely to the right with your programming. I'm a Democrat. I listen all the time. I love the debate, but I would just like a little more, not to steal somebody else's thunder, fair and balanced. I mean, I kid Chris Cole one time. I told him maybe your station should be 1630, so it's more to the right of the time. Extremely to the right. I love you guys. And the second comment is that the traffic reports are too short. I'm driving. I hear the traffic report. I don't hear anything about the Wilson Bridge. The next 10 minutes after I'm already heading, the Wilson Bridge is backed up and too late for me, but I do love it, and I'm an avid listener.
All right, Jeff. Thanks for the call.
Jeff, I appreciate that, and obviously, I hear what you're saying about the people like Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity, who clearly have a very conservative agenda, and that's kind of the focus of their program. I will say that some of the other people who are on the air, I don't actually know if they're Republican or if they're Democrat. I don't talk politics with Andy Parks, and I know Fred Grandy was elected as a Republican in Iowa, but last time I heard, I think he's registered as an independent.
He's a fence sitter.
And Chris Core, he's
going to come running in here now. He's in the other room.
But having said that, I will say that I am committed to providing a diversity of viewpoints on the radio, and we've tried to do a couple of things recently. For example, if you were listening by chance on Thursday or Friday night last week, we used a fellow who we use from time to time filling in for Chris Core, a guy by the name of Brian Whitman, who I know is, because he said it on the air, is a Democrat. We've had a program on Sunday afternoons, which we have called the Sunday Afternoon Fights, actually, where we have a Republican and a Democrat. Batchelor and Alexander I mentioned earlier. As for the traffic reports, I'm glad you brought this up, Jeff, because one of the things that is very important to a radio listener, especially someone who's listening to news and information, is traffic information. We know that, and we know that we can't necessarily cover all of the roads all of the time, But we felt as though, talking to people like yourself, we felt as though it was very important to provide this traffic information at a reliable time. And that's why we did a survey on our website probably a month or so ago, and we had a lot of responses to people just like this, talking about our traffic reports, what roads are important to them, because we know that there are certain parts of the listening area that maybe we have a stronger listening audience than other parts. And we made a decision that we wanted to provide the traffic and weather information at a reliable, dependable time all morning long. So that's why you may have heard us say that, we're doing traffic and weather together on the fives. It's at 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, and 55 minutes past each hour all morning long. And the response to that has been very, very positive. As for providing every highway and every report, we'll do the best that we can. I think they're pretty comprehensive, but we may not hit them all every time.
WMAL News Time 9:51. Back to your calls in just a couple of minutes. Chris Berry is the president and general manager of WMAL. We've got a few minutes left, so get on the line if you'd like to make a comment. 202-432-WMAL.
This message is for all business owners. Whether your company is small, medium, or large, you must consider working with Affordable Creative Services. Hi, it's Chris Core. If you need a brochure or a logo design, direct mail piece, ad campaign, website, or a trade show exhibit, you need to pick up the phone and call these guys today. ACS will give you the tools you need to make your business successful and take it to the next level. They've got first-rate, award-winning graphic artists. They'll serve you with a smile. They write it. They design it. They print it. If you're looking for that competitive edge, you just found it with Affordable Creative Services. And like their name, they are very affordable based on the work they do. So that's why you don't have to work with them, but boy, you should call them. Their number is 703-352-7900. 703-352-7900. For Affordable Creative Services. Their website is acscreative.com. You're going to love working with these guys. Give them a call at 703-352-7900 for Affordable Creative Services.
Hello, I'm Dr. Tom Winkler from the dental offices of Drs. McMillan and Winkler. Dental phobia, the fear of seeking dental work, strikes millions of Americans every year, keeping them from getting the dental work they need for strong, healthy teeth and a beautiful smile. That's why at Drs. McMillan and Winkler we specialize in sedation dentistry, allowing the patient to snooze while the work is done. Through sedation therapy, we can return your smile in just a few visits, painlessly while you dream. You wouldn't think of having your tonsils or appendix out without being sedated, so why should complex dental problems be any different? No matter how long it's been since you've been to the dentist, be it months or years, we can help you smile with confidence. It's time to end the embarrassment, discomfort, and fear of going to the dentist. Call our offices in Burke and Sterling today at 703-503-9490. That's 703-503-9490 for Drs. McMillan and Winkler. Or check us out on the web at burkedentists.com. That's burkedentists.com.
Welcome to the next frontier of intelligence technology at Northrop Grumman Mission Systems National Security Operations in Columbia, Maryland. We're seeking software and systems engineers to help us lead the transformation of intelligence and push technology further to fight the war on terrorism. Apply your expertise to advanced engineering solutions and complex systems challenges for government and military missions. We are the only Tier 1 company that's actively engaged in taking all phases of intelligence to the next level for our customers. You'll develop and integrate the most sophisticated commercial applications imaginable with advancement and training opportunities that will keep your career moving forward. Challenge yourself with this exciting opportunity and enjoy the rewards of success at Mission Systems. Apply now at www.ms.northropgrumman.com or email your resume to Joe, that's joe.murphy@ngc.com for immediate consideration. Security clearance and polygraph required. Equal opportunity employer.
WMAL News Time 9:54. Andy Parks with you. And in this hour, Chris Berry, the president and general manager of WMAL, has been taking your phone calls. We're going to jump right back onto the lines right now. Caesar, you're next on 630 WMAL.
Hello, Andy. How you doing?
Fine.
All right. Long-time listener since Hardin and Weaver. And the thing that attracted me to the station was Paul Harvey, news and comment. And you guys have progressed a long way. Thank you for Rush. Thank you for sticking by him. And even in the thick and the thin of the whole controversy that was stirred up with him, love the switch to was the guys that come on at 9 o'clock at night.
Bachelor and Alexander.
Bachelor and Alexander, yes, excellent. Because I used to listen to them late at night, but I couldn't stay up too late because you had to go to bed.
Yeah, you'd be falling asleep at the wheel the next day. Yeah.
That's it.
All right, and Caesar.
You guys are doing a terrific job in the morning, too. Thank you, Chris, for everything. Programming, excellent.
Well, Caesar, I appreciate that. And, you mentioned Rush Limbaugh. Obviously, that was a kind of an interesting period because we didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but we felt as though, here is somebody who has a very loyal following here in Washington on WMAL, and we sure weren't going to abandon him during his time of difficulty.
Carrie, you're next on 630 WMAL. Morning.
Hi. I wasn't sure if you knew, but I wanted to let you all know that there's a huge out there of stay-at-home moms that listen all day long. I listen from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. off and on, and I so appreciate the adult commentary. I'm at home with 3 little, and I just want to thank you all for the wonderful, wonderful programming.
Home with 3 little kids, yeah. I feel for you. Thanks a lot, Carrie. Yeah, busy stay-at-home mom. All right, let's go to Bruce here. Morning, Bruce. You're on 630 WMAL.
Good morning, gentlemen. Yeah, I want to say, my radio's on 630 from the time I get in the car. I'm a salesman. I travel a lot. I just love the programming the way it is. I can tell you. I can tell you the political affiliations of the show, the people that you have running the shows. But I'm not going to get into that. All 3 of those guys, Fred Grandy, Chris Core, and Sam Donaldson, are very free thinkers. You get a good opinion of both of them.
What about Andy Parks?
I'm sorry, Andy Parks. I know what Andy Parks is too, and I agree with Andy an awful lot. But I really do think it's. I use Rush and Sean to kind of find answers that I have from reading the Washington Post and vice versa. So
yep.
I love the balance. I love listening to it. And
all right.
It's a terrific show, and I'm going to stick with you for as long as I'm around. I do have one question.
Yes, Bruce.
I hope it's not embarrassing. I really like Fred Grandy. I really like Tim Brandt. What happened to Tim?
Well, Tim is, as you may know, is spending most of his time right now doing ABC television, and he really wasn't in a position where he could continue to do a daily radio show Monday through Friday from the studio because of his TV commitments. I was not here when he left, but that's my understanding.
WMAL News Time, 9:57. We'll be back right after these messages.
Would you like to look 5, 10, even 20 years younger in as little as 5 minutes? I didn't think this was possible until my wife, Catherine, tried the new Chamonix Jeunesse, and I saw it in action, and let me tell you, Chamonix Jeunesse is a scientific breakthrough. It is the first anti-wrinkle treatment in the world clinically proven to reduce wrinkles and lines in a few short minutes from the first application. I've never seen anything like this, but don't take my word for it, because you can try Jeunesse before you buy it. Call 800-SKIN-918, 800-SKIN-918. Just pay shipping and handling, and Chamonix will rush you the amazing Jeunesse eye cream and face serum to try. Use Jeunesse for 30 days and pay for it only if you decide to keep it. And for this week only, Chamonix will double your order free if you choose to pay in full when you call. What a deal for the holidays. Call 800-SKIN-918, 800-SKIN-918. Need the number one more time? 800-SKIN-918.
Office Max has gifts that work, so you have no reason to give gifts thought of as lame come this holiday season.
At Office Max this holiday, give gifts that will put a smile on their face and yours. You'll find great deals on Palm PDAs, Olympus digital cameras, Panasonic and GE phones, Canon, Epson and HP printers, luggage, leather executive chairs, fine writing instruments, and much more. This holiday, give gifts that work from Office Max. See store for details.
Have that leftover turkey do something useful for a change. This week, make Campbell's Country Turkey Casserole with Campbell's Cream of Celery and Cream of Potato Soups. Hi, I'm Gordon Elliott with Campbell's Tasty Tuesday Tip of the Week. Go to tastytuesday.com or your Sunday coupon circular for the recipe. Every week, there's another quick and easy dinner idea your family will love. You can even sign up for Campbell's weekly recipe email. Why settle for the same old, same old? Go to tastytuesday.com. Make it Campbell's instead.
You know, this is Chris Berry. I'm the president and general manager here at WMAL. And Andy, as I said earlier, if you want to give me a call, you want to send me an email address, chris, chris.j, the letter J, .berry, berry, at abc.com. Love to hear from you.
This is 630 WMAL, Washington, D.C. It's 10 o'clock.
From ABC News,
I'm Doug Limerick, convicted sex offender in custody in connection with the disappearance of a senior at the University of North Dakota. 22-year-old Drew Shadeen has been missing for 10 days, last seen leaving her job at a Victoria's Secret in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Now police have arrested 50-year-old Alfonso Rodriguez of Crookston, Minnesota. But still no sign of Drew Shadeen. Corey Lyman was involved in the Elizabeth Smart investigation.
Certainly one of the primary goals the investigators have in any of these.